Well, here we go for another edition of the Sunday Bunch, and if you want a Sunday lunch, come and see George at the Hastings Hill pub. Absolutely beautiful Sunday's dinner, absolutely wonderful food, and it's really nice. And also I want to say thank you to George for letting us use this room for making the video, and also for providing us with the sponsorship for our SAFC Fan TV football shirts. Absolutely fantastic.
Very good.
Better than the actual Sunderland shirts.
I've had loads of comments saying they are actually better than the original Sunderland shirts. So,
lovely,
Stuart Donald, if you want some new shirts, you know where to come. have a word with us at SFC Fan TV.
More than welcome to, lads.
Before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to a member on YouTube called Mix and Magic. He loves the SFC Fan TV and also my channel, Man Mistake, and also Michael Bowers. And he's got us a few little gifts. He's made me a T-shirt for my channel, and also he's got a couple of little gifts for the show. So while I'm yapping on, talking no sense, I'll let Sean open that one. And then Michael, you're going to open that one.
Oh my God! It's not Christmas yet.
I don't know. It's not Christmas. Just open them anyway. I don't know if they're for us. I've just opened them anyway. But I want to say a big happy birthday to Mix and Magic. Open it now, please. What a fantastic bloke! It's his birthday, and he's giving us
Happy
gifts.
birthday then.
So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday for giving us these lovely, wonderful gifts on your birthday. And he's 55 today. I'm sorry if you didn't want us to mention that, but too late. Thank you very much.
This is the first, like.
Are we getting there? I'll put these back in my Christmas sack.
I'll tell you, Mix and Magic, you wrapped this well. I can't get it open.
Use the strength. Use the strength.
I've done the present for a few years.
There we go. Okay, here we go.
Nice early Christmas present.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go pen for the bag.
Yeah, here we go. Open these up. You get in.
Oh, hang on.
Go on, there's the strength, mate.
I'm going to bang the table.
Strength
here.
of 10 men this broke. Go.
Oh, here we go then. Right, well. Oh, I think I might have a clue. I think I might know what these are. Oh. Who's this bloke? Sean Middleton. Hey.
Well, pass this on to Dean today. He couldn't make the short today, so pass this over to Dean.
No, it's
And this is one for Wee Phil. You'll pass this over to a certain bloke behind the camera.
Oh yeah, mint. Look at that, mint.
Oh my goodness me.
That's class, that like. Absolutely class, like.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Cheers.
That's mint, that like.
Mix and Magic.
Absolutely mint.
Mix and Magic. Thank you very much.
That's for you, coffee.
This
coffee,
is an epic
now.
design. This I'm going to mention in my next video.
use that with pride.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely amazing bloke.
Didn't have to do that.
Exactly, all
it's
for
lovely.
free.
Thank you very much.
Just loves watching the channel. A big Sunderland fan. And again, thank you very much and enjoy your birthday, mate. Enjoy your birthday.
Thanks for making my weekend. That was already better than yesterday.
So on the panel today we got Michael Bowers.
Aye.
Follow him on YouTube. His channel's growing. Straight to the point, straight after the match he comes on and straight from the heart he gives you his opinion. And also Sean Middleton, SFC fan reporter,
Man,
doing an
cameraman,
absolutely fantastic
face
job.
of the channel.
And again a shout out to Dean for being the cameraman. So today we're going to quickly talk about NUFC Fan TV versus AFC Fan TV. We played last week against a great bunch of lads, really friendly Newcastle bunch of lads, really warm welcome when we got there. It was at Eldon Square and it was a really close match. At half time I really thought we were actually going to win. I couldn't believe it. I thought we'd be getting beat 10-0, but it was so close, so good. A couple of really good players on their side. But Michael, what was your thoughts on the game last week?
Well, I only played 5 minutes, so I wasn't totally useless, was I? It was a good occasion. As you said, they're a great bunch of lads. Actually, I've watched their content before we even started this, so it's good to see that they wanted to play us, and I think they know what they're talking about with regards to Newcastle. Onto the game, I think like the likes of Dino, I think Sean, like he's the maestro. He gets like, was it 2 goals?
Two. Well,
Two,
I was in defence.
well.
I was in defence.
Two,
I was
two.
game.
Well,
I was thinking. You'll see.
No, go on.
I played in defence all game, but I'm not a defender. I'm an attacker.
Yeah.
We let 4 goals in.
I know.
Come on, Sean.
But that wasn't me. I was a man. I can't mark 2 men if I've got a man. Something else is not
I mean, to be fair, if I'm
I'm only kidding, man.
if I play on the pitch, I'm technically useless on the ball.
You don't know, right? To be fair, I mean,
No. I mean, like I'm more better for just being just a typical no nonsense defender, just off the ball stuff, try and put people off. That's pretty much what my game is. So
I know
anywhere
you
in
come
a
on the
team,
first 5 minutes of the second half, but that wasn't why we couldn't see the 2 goals. Their first goal.
Hey, Sean, we only conceded 1 when I was on the pitch. Steady on. I know what you mean.
It was a cracking goal, though.
That goal was great.
That was like,
because I thought he was going to shoot, but I didn't think it was going to go like flying at the back of the net. But you know what it is. we played all right. We're probably just tired towards the end. Bearing in mind, those guys will have played alongside each other in football probably, obviously longer than us.
Yeah.
That's the first time we've played together.
Yeah.
That's the first time we played alongside each other in a football game. So I think we did all right. I didn't know what to expect from either us or them because I hadn't seen us play. So, but it was a good spirit though, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed it, and what I bring to the game is I never stopped running. I can chase players down all day long till the cows come home. But I was injured, so I only played 5 minutes, so it was pointless me even being there.
Don't worry, we've got the return leg up here.
Exactly,
we've got the return leg up
we'll
here.
get his back. If you want to watch the highlights of the SAFC
right.
Fan TV versus Newcastle Fan TV, feel free to pop on to SAFC Fan TV and watch it on there.
Hey, thanks, lad.
Right, we'll go on to the cup matches. We've lost to Scunthorpe, Leicester and Gillingham. To be honest, it's been an absolute waste of time with the cup matches, just losing all those games. I didn't see anything at all from those 3 games that could bring anything to the table, and I was disappointed didn't play more youngsters. I think Taylor, I'll give him a good shout out against Gillingham. He played well in defence, but I think I wanted to see more of the youngsters playing in those games rather than the first teamers. What was your thoughts, Sean, on the cup matches?
Which one? The Gillingham one?
I think just overall opinion.
They were all rubbish and equal measures.
Absolutely, pathetic, really. I mean, the only thing you can take out of it really is the fact that we haven't got any distractions now. We've got the league to concentrate on. Like last season, we had the check trade.
It was check trade last year. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now there's no distractions now. We can concentrate on the league. I mean, that's got to be a good thing. But to be honest, I watched the Leicester under 21s, under 23s.
Yeah, well, something like that. Leicester's academy.
Gillingham, I was at work, but then that was just diabolical as well. It's not a good time to be a Sun supporter, to be honest.
Is there ever a good time to be a Sunderland supporter, though, really?
I'm actually struggling now to even comment on the games now. It's just getting that bad. It's hard.
But it's repetitive, though, isn't it? It's repetitive. It's pretty much the same thing.
I'll support them. I'll support them. I was talking to the lad. He was crying on Saturday. He was just said that our club. How's it come to this, John? What's happened? Do you know what I mean? It's just sad. You know what I mean? It is a sad situation we're in, and it's behind the scenes as well. Do you know what I mean?
It's not looking good. Michael, your thoughts on the cup matches? Any thoughts at all? I just want to say it. We just want to get it pushed under the
right,
cards.
okay. Pretty much, Sean's covered a lot of it. Basically, I'm not devastated. I'm not going to lose sleep over the fact we're out of both cups. What I was bothered about, and I didn't watch any of the games, by the way, because I was away. But the manner of the defeats, particularly Scunthorpe and Gillingham as well. I think especially Scunthorpe, though they didn't. From people who were at the game, let me know. It sounded pathetic.
I seen the Scunthorpe game. I forgot to mention that.
You poor soul. But why did you put yourself through that?
I tell you what, the Scunthorpe game, I watched it, and honestly, we were absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
We're just folded for them, and once they got the goal, you got to think, right, Scunthorpe, right, then League Two, right, 5th from bottom, and they played us off the park. We just buckled and folded and let them. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking.
It is shocking. From Scunthorpe's perspective, they just got relegated last season, so they should be doing. They probably would expect a bit better than they are. Having said that, though, the fact that we went to them when they were 4th, 5th off bottom at the time we played them anyway, and we let them bully us, we let them dominate us, we let them just rule us on the pitch. We basically just sat back and might as well just take it up the backside. It wasn't good enough.
9 got sent off just for that, and it was just the whole.
But even then, though, I know we keep having this constant "is the squad good enough" argument, but I'm sorry. To expect that team to go to Scunthorpe, a League Two side 5th from bottom, and win isn't really asking for very much.
No, it's not.
Even Leicester's under 21s. Again, I wasn't at that game either. All I saw was the goals were conceded in that game, and there seemed to be a massive. I don't know if you've watched any of the games, but there seemed to be a massive lack of application in those games, and even Gillingham, we'll get on to Phil Parkinson later, but apparently we gave it a good go against Gillingham.
Didn't get me started on the
there's 0 shots on target in 120 minutes. With all due respect, Gillingham, they'll probably beat us in the league, to be honest. But it's lads, it's not Ipswich, it's Gillingham, right? Come on.
You've gone a 6-hour journey, 12-hour there and back.
Yeah, me, Sean, and probably Dino are going to Gillingham, and we might be going to Doncaster because we're a bunch of idiots. So yay!
It's in the blood, man.
We've got more money we can waste.
Quick mention on the Scunthorpe match. At half time, we kind of sort of was 50-50, or we slightly dominating the match, and Lynch went off at half time. We brought LeBrock in as centre back. I think after that I felt
LeBrock, you mean DeBock?
Kelly LeBrock or Danny LeBrock or just somebody called DeBrock.
Next manager, this bloke.
Exactly. He came on and he's a left back and he's injured all the time and he played a centre back. So
what could go wrong there?
Sure, we've got some youngsters that could have came into that side on the subs benches, come on as centre backs. We must have somebody out there.
I mean, what you mentioned about the youngsters actually going back, like with Taylor, that apparently he was quite good against Gillingham. But even then, so well, if that's the case, then shouldn't Phil Parkinson have used these 4 games? Well, 3 at the time. We didn't know we were going to go to a replay. But shouldn't we have used these games? Surely, I think, right, what have I got at my disposal? Are the kids good enough? Are they going to be good enough to compete for the first team? Because the first team players, or some of them, they don't have any competition at the minute because either players are injured or there's not enough depth in their position. Yeah. So why on earth do you not just go out and think, right, come on then, let's give the kids a go. These are going to be chomping at the bits to play for Sunderland. It's going to be a massive opportunity for their careers. And then we'll go out and play a bunch of players that just, at the minute, it's questionable whether they deserve the shirt or not.
Do they care?
I tell you what,
some of them do, but I think some of them are just really strolling through games.
Obviously, we're going to get into the game yesterday. But Jesus, I've got a lot to say about that game. It's like
how about between now and January, right? Phil Parkinson starts to get some of the youngsters into the squad now. We can't be any worse than we are now. Get some of the youngsters in who are playing well in the under-23s and even younger than that into the first team squad and see if they can replace some of the older brigade, and that'll save us spending a lot of money in January. Sure, there's going to be 1 or 2 gems there that we can actually, blood into the side.
I mean, that's the thing. We're not going to know until we play them, are we?
Benji, your Taylors, get them more on the side.
But even so, even if you're right, we can't do much worse than we are now because we've got mid-table stability in League One. Happy days. But either way, though, when you bring these players in, and even if the results continue as they are now, there's going to be at least a little bit more patience with them because they think, the youngsters, they haven't played very much, and even then. But the problem is the atmosphere. I thought risked on verge of toxicity yesterday at the Coventry game, and I'm thinking, is it right? The counter argument is it right to bring these players into that environment?
I mean,
it's not an easy thing to solve.
Did you feel the fans was like starting to turn? I don't blame them. It's starting to get toxic.
I don't blame them.
When it starts getting toxic,
it
affects everything.
I mean, very quickly, the equaliser really prevented that from really being nasty.
So going on to yesterday's game, what formation did we actually play?
4-3-3.
Right, well, I talked about this in the car on the way here. I think I thought initially it was a 4-3-3. I thought it was going to be like maybe Ledbetter sitting a bit deeper and Pound Dobson slightly further forward, and then Maguire, McGeady, and Grigg up front. But then when you look at it and you think Grigg was, I mean, as much as I think Grigg deserves a amount of stick, and don't get me started on Will Grigg, but either way, he had nobody helping him whatsoever. It must have been a 4-2-3-1. It has to. Whatever formation it was, he would have been up front on his own. It was no way it was a 4-3-3. 4-2-3-1.
I thought when it first set up, I thought it looked like a 4-3-3, but I agree with what you said. I think during the game, when we didn't have the ball, it looked like we had 5 in the middle, like a 4-5-1. But then, obviously, I think you're right. I think it was a 4-2-3-1 style.
Because of course that's what we needed. We needed about half a slow team against one of the quickest teams in the league.
And the only time we sort of got someone in the box to help Will Grigg, they sort of bumped into each other. Was it Max Power and Will Grigg?
Oh, that was comical.
So how does that happen?
Because Sunderland.
Exactly.
That's how it happens.
It was like me and Matt FC on Sunday. When it was.
No, I think you're doing yourselves a discredit there. Like, at least you didn't clatter into each other. It's just symbolic of the way it's going at the minute.
How do we combat the toothless performances up front? Because we seem to be, we don't seem to be too bad in defence. We quite, we are solid in midfield. We do pass around in midfield okay, apart from being really, really slow, and we don't get the ball up to the striker fast enough, and there's nowhere up there anyway.
When we get the final third, that's the problem. And when you've got three players like Dobson, Ledbetter and Power, right? Absolutely gutless, pathetic, useless. That's what them are. The 3 of them. They should be ashamed to wear that shirt. They should be.
No, I'm smiling at Sean. I'm smiling at Sean because we had a mild disagreement on Power, but I do agree that yesterday none of them showed any.
Absolutely rubbish. I think,
like I said, I mean, we'll not talk this again. I like Power. I've said in the past I like Power.
What does he offer them on the team? Tell me what he does on the team.
Like I've told you, I think that he is quite good at. He's quite good at getting stuck in, getting the actual physical side of the game. I think that he's good at getting the ball. He's good at getting things taken over. No, honestly, I think if you have. I mean, fair enough. It's opinions. In my opinion, I think if you had a couple of quick, athletic midfielders around Power, even if you had, as much as I don't like him, if you put Conor McLaughlin right back and put 09 there, I think you might see better out of Power. I think Power's won this league before, so I don't buy the argument that he's completely useless. But even then, I mean, Dobson had a shock. Dobson had a shocker yesterday.
Can't pass the ball.
No, I tell you what. One thing Dobson did that really made me irate, and I've liked Dobson since he came in. I hate it when players go forward and they can pass they could pass it to somebody else, and you've got a greater chance of scoring, and they shoot. Dobson in the second half ran towards the penalty box, and I think it was Watmore. Someone was on his right hand side. If he fed it through to him, he would have at least had a better chance of scoring 1-on-1 with the keeper. But what does he do? He shoots.
To be fair,
to be honest, what you want?
it was open at first, wasn't he? And then it closed down quickly.
No, that's what I mean. But couldn't Dobson have drawn players onto him and then fed through? I mean, obviously there might have been a risk. Watmore or whoever it was would have been offside.
Honestly, watching yesterday, right, honestly, them three in the middle was pissed me right off.
Don't blame me.
I mean, if you was, was massive Sunderland
Go
fans,
on, Sean.
if I was
Go
wearing
on,
that
lad.
Sun shirt, right, I'd be giving me heart and soul for the football team. I'd die for that club, you know what I mean? I'd be putting everything on the football pitch. Max Power, right, is a useless. Honestly, he doesn't bring nothing to the team. Dobson yesterday just couldn't pass the ball. Ledbetter, he's like an old man in a Zimmer frame. He's like robotic as out. Do you know what I mean?
You know Dobson.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's something during the week saying he was injured. He was struggling with an injury. So should he really be playing?
Right, exactly. Mate.
That's the thing.
He did look out of sorts, didn't he?
He did, mate. Aye.
So maybe he wasn't fit enough to play.
That's our problem in the midfield. I tell you something now. If we didn't get 2 midfielders in January, we won't even be anywhere near the playoffs.
Should McGeoch be starting them?
Well, I think McGeoch's alright. I don't know what the problem is with McGeoch. I think he can pass the ball, he can get it moving. I think he's got a bit of quality. I don't know what the issue is with McGeoch. What's the issue?
See, what you've just described with McGeoch is how I feel about Power. I think Power does those things. I think McGeoch is quite overrated for what a lot of other fans have said. Just based on the pedigree he's come out with, I mean, you could probably make a counter argument here. I think McGeoch doesn't stand out enough in games that he's played.
I know. But
then again, I think Power does that. I mean, don't get me wrong, McGeoch hasn't played very much, so he might be, to be fair to him.
And going on to Ledbetter, I think Ledbetter has just had his day, that's all. I don't think he's not trying. I think he is trying. I think he's passionate about the club and he loves the club.
Yeah,
I think there's a certain point where you think, his
legs can't do it anymore.
I've had my time, haven't I? I've got to now sit back a bit and do. Maybe he's going to coaching role or something.
It's a shame because Ledbetter would be quite a good person to work behind the scenes at the club. But it's just on the pitch. You can just tell the game passes him by. Unfortunately, I didn't think he was that atrocious yesterday, but he just can't. He can't play at this level anymore. So we had our say on the midfielders, Matt. What's your say on the midfielders? Go on, go through them.
Just everybody's too slow. Simple as. I mean, I'm going to give Dobson a free pass because I think he's injured and I think maybe he's off colour. He's had some problems. Maybe he shouldn't have been playing. That's the manager's fault if he's injured or under the weather. Ledbetter, like I said, I love Ledbetter the bits. He's a great ambassador to the club, but I think he's had his day and possibly subs bench and whatever. But I think he needs to put his hand up and say when he thinks, rather than letting other people say when he's finished. He needs to maybe stand up and say to himself, maybe it's time now that I can't give the first team what I used to be able to do. And I think he'll make a great coach for Sunderland Football Club. Like I said, a great ambassador.
Good too.
Max Power, I think Max Power has got the ability. I'm not sure whether he's captain material, and he does have his good games and bad days, but it depends what Phil Pattinson, what the instructions are for Max Power. So Max Power again, for me, the jury's out. That's the midfield. McGeoch. Is he going to go with Jack Ross in January and go up there?
Wouldn't shock me.
Hibs or somewhere. So, but again, has he been given a real chance under Phil Pattinson? Does he deserve to have a chance in the midfield? Maybe it's the next league match. And maybe he's against Burton during the week. I'm not quite sure.
Possibly. I mean, just to throw a spanner in the works, what do you think about the argument that? Because obviously, Honeyman got slated last season. It's just by some fans, which I think was ridiculously unfair on him. And Catmull, do you think we missed the two of them now?
Definitely, Honeyman. I didn't want Honeyman to go.
I mean, with Honeyman, as much as I've said, I had a comment. One of my mates said that someone came up to them in the week and asked if they were mates with me, and they asked me to stop crawling up Donald Methvin's you know what, which did agitate me actually because I thought, well, it's called not having short memories. Having said that the reason I mention that is because that's one decision from them that I actually don't understand. Why was Honeyman allowed to go? Honeyman is whether Honeyman's captain material. Because I've grown quite tired of that debate. But Honeyman wouldn't have wanted to go, would he? Yeah. He's playing for the club that he supported since he was probably a bairn.
Money.
Yeah, maybe who knows? But it's. Like Honeyman offering more.
Last 6 months.
I know, but Honeyman offers more than what half the midfield is at the minute.
What you say about Honeyman, Michael? What do you think Honeyman brought to the team when he was playing for Sunderland?
Do you know what it is?
I think there was a lot of unsung things he did that didn't go unnoticed.
Like what?
Like driving the team forward, pulling us out of the. Well, yeah, I'm going to swear, pull us out of the ship. Yeah, he didn't he get like 8 goals or something last season? He got goals, and even half the time he was playing in a deeper position. And he had a bit of agility and a bit of athleticism. He went forward. I think Honeyman
Honeyman would still be here today if he wasn't asked to do the captain's role. He shouldn't have been asked to do the captain's role. I don't know whether he put his hand up.
Which then, to be fair, is down to Jack Ross.
He shouldn't have been captain. Like
he should have. He must know himself whether he was the captain or not. But for me, if he wasn't captain, I think he'd still be here now. I think he was passionate about the club.
I agree.
I think he'd definitely be in the team if he was at the team today. So he's definitely. It's just. I think just because he was captain the whole season and he was made an scapegoat from a lot of people.
He was
made a scapegoat.
But like you say, like Michael's just not the on the head there. Jack Ross, he named him the captain. But I will stick up for Jack Ross in a sense here because in that summer.
You sticking up for Jack Ross? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Are you feeling all right? Like, go on.
I think like in that summer, I mean, there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There was like a lot of players on big wages. I mean, he didn't know it was coming or going. Cattermole was on 30 grand a week. Oviedo was on a massive wage. I mean, I think he had to just get the captain in early. You know, Honeyman, he's a local lad, loves the club. I think he picked Honeyman. It definitely wasn't the right decision. But he making him as the captain, I don't think. But he made that, and I think I agree with what the man mistake said there. I think that just didn't help him at all. I think he was a scapegoat just for that
pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, while we'll stick up for the people who did slightly have a go at Honeyman, I think that the argument was just because he's captain, does that mean he should start every game? Which it's a fair point. He shouldn't have started every game. But again, that's not Honeyman's fault. That's Jack Ross's fault.
Aye.
So I think people need to remember that that's Jack Ross, not George Honeyman. But I was trying to throw a spanner in the works. We've gone on for about 5-10 minutes about Honeyman.
Right. We'll move on to yesterday's goal we conceded. What was your thoughts on the goal, Sean? Do you think it was anybody blamed, anybody at fault, or do you think it was just a well-worked goal?
I think it was a well-worked goal, mate.
I think it was heady tennis?
That's what it felt like.
Aye.
It's a strange expression, heady tennis, isn't it? I don't get that.
I haven't seen the goal back, to be fair. But when I went in, I think it was just well-worked. But I think we weren't marking very well as well, though.
Who lost the ball to lead up to the corner? Was that Maguire? When it was 1-on-1 with Burge, and then Burge saved?
Yeah, it was Maguire. Yeah, it was Maguire.
He was quite sloppy yesterday.
I haven't seen the goal back.
I've looked at the goal back. I think if you're from Coventry's perspective, you'll say it's a well-worked goal. If we'd scored that, I would have said it's well-worked. I think for us, the marking was all over the place, and I think that if we didn't get rid of the ball quickly enough, I think that. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I just felt there was a couple of opportunities where we could have just got rid of it, get it in a rose edge, just get rid of it, and we didn't do it. I mean, but to be fair, were you shocked that Coventry scored? I wasn't. I thought if we kept a clean sheet, that would have been one of the biggest.
Coventry. They were good size. They were third from top at the start of the game. I think. I knew it was going to be a tough game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To be honest, I mean, like getting a bad result, not really. But did we deserve anything of the game? No, we didn't. We were absolutely pathetic. It was basically the goal was a get out of jail card. Really, it was. We didn't deserve anything out of that game yesterday. We were pathetic.
I watched the goal 3 or 4 times. And my first instinct when I was in the south stand was just heady tennis, but it was a well-worked corner. They've got the ball in the box. They've got really tall players on their side.
They've got height on that.
One of the players tried to head it across and it went out a bit, and one headed it back in. Yeah. We had 09, we had Willis, we had Ledbetter, and we had Power marking them, and Lynch, the tallest player, wasn't marking any of them, but Lynch was further inside, probably marking somebody else. So we did have players in there to clear the ball, but their players were stronger and more eager to put the ball in the back of the net.
But what you've just said there, more eager. So that implies a lack of.
I just don't think our players jumped for the ball.
That was my worry about yesterday, was their height in their team. Yeah. They've got height, and I think set pieces. Corners, set pieces. I went, if they get a goal, I was saying to the lad next to us, Paul, says, if they get a goal, it'll be from a corner or a free kick. And I was right. You know what I mean, to
be fair, in the first half, Coventry could have had probably 2 or 3 or 4 goals.
There was one where the midfielder put the ball through over the top of our defenders, and he was clean through, wasn't he?
And I'm just thinking, like, even then, as much as they've got pace up front, I thought, well, Willis, you're quite quick, mate. How are we getting caught out from that? How are we not learning from this?
Somebody said, obviously I went down 35 minutes, I'm going down. I'm like, chill out here.
I don't blame you.
Somebody said that Will Grigg was through 1-on-1 with the keeper, is that right?
It was offside, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was given us offside.
And then it was brought back for a free kick.
It was brought back for a free kick, which shocked Gaspara, we did nothing from. So,
To move on to Willis, I know Willis has been taking injections in his knee. And yesterday, second half, he got nailed a couple of times by a couple of Coventry players, and you could see he was limping around, hobbling around, and maybe that's why he didn't have the pace yesterday.
Possibly.
So he's carrying an injury. I don't know why we have to play players who are having injections. Lynch is having injections in his back. Dobson wasn't fit, and obviously Willis has had injections in his knee, and that yesterday could have done Willis some damage because he looked in real pain. He was on about 10 minutes, even before he started hobbling, before Tom Flanagan came on. So for me, Tuesday, there's no way Willis should be playing Tuesday. He has to be rested. We can't afford to lose him for the full season.
But if that's the case, then what does that? So if Parkinson chose to stick with Willis, if he wasn't fully fit, if he chose to stick with Dobson, who wasn't fully fit, what does that say about the other players?
I mean, we had young Taylor. Where was he? He wasn't on the bench. Is he injured? I don't know.
I don't know if Ozturk was on the bench.
Ozturk's on the bench, but again, he hasn't been...
Ozturk, I think he could have stepped in and done a job yesterday.
He played full 90 minutes almost against Gillingham during the week, and he was carrying a hamstring problem as well. So we haven't got a bunch of fit players at this moment in time.
So what are we doing in training then? What's going on if we're getting all these injuries? Then something clearly isn't right.
I mean, I'm never going to come about Phil Parkinson. That's the next thing. But I mean, I think you have to get off to a good start. But do you think he's getting off to a good start? I mean,
10th in the league. Well, but then again, we were 7th when he came in. So
I was arguing with somebody about the Jack Ross thing yesterday. I'm thinking the same. So, do you think obviously getting rid of Jack Ross was the right thing to do? And I was like, well, I do. But was getting Phil Parkinson in, was that the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, those are two separate incidents altogether. We can't keep going back to the, you shouldn't have sat Jack. No, let's make this clear. With Jack Ross, at best we probably would have been marginally better than where we are now. At very best, I think Ross didn't have the players playing for him, which is disgusting by the players, by the way. And even so, when he came, it was the right decision to get rid of him. I think there was no way Ross would have needed. Winning 30 games out of 33 to turn the fans back round, and there's just no way that was going to happen. So
we're moving back on yesterday's game before we dissect Phil Parkinson. Duncan Watmore. Now he had an off game against Gillingham, but yesterday for me that was the turning point where we actually started playing some positive, really good football. He came on and he changed the game.
Definitely,
it was positive. His pace, getting to the byline, getting crosses in, and also when Benji came on, he did one thing that Will Grigg couldn't do yesterday, and it was find some space.
So why
don't we start from Duncan Watmore first, Michael?
Should have started. I have absolutely no clue. I think that one of the things, like I said, but when I looked at the lineup, I thought straight away. I feel like at first it was McLaughlin. I think I'm making Ledbetter a scapegoat. I looked at it and think, why are we playing the slowest players against the team? Again, I would not shock me if Coventry are one of, if not the quickest team in the whole division. So why are we not playing Watmore, someone who could combat pace with pace? Is he the level that a lot of the other Coventry players are? Probably not. But you'd rather play players that have got a little bit of pace about them. And like you said, Watmore was dynamic when he came on. He ran down the byline, he ran the channels, he tried to put balls into the box. It gave us something extra going forward. But instantly I was furious at Parkinson. Well, why wasn't he starting? Unless it was a niggle he had, then in which case fair enough, but we don't know that. If it's a niggle, fine. But either way, I think Watmore should have started the game. To me, then that lineup looked a bit negative.
I agree with what you were saying. You see when he come on, he's that one player who's got the good pace, and he was actually stretching their left back. I can't remember his name, but he was getting down the line. It was more positive. I mean, because to be honest, in the first half, how bad we were in the first half, though, you know what I mean? And Watmore come on.
There were times going forward where I thought the effort in patches was there, but there were other times when I thought, there's no fluidity, there's no movement, and it's just like we were making Coventry look like Barcelona or Man City. And
Watmore's probably the only player that can actually fill that gap between the midfield and Will Grigg, isn't there? He's the only player with the pace that can get up there and help Will Grigg. Which
again, like we need, in order to try and win promotion, whether we think it's possible or not, we need to score goals to win games. To do that, you need to create chances. So why are we not playing Watmore?
We haven't got a player like apart from Watmore, really, like a midfielder who can tap a player on and create something.
Mind you, I will.
The Three Stooges in the middle, you still.
I will. Sorry for interrupting you there. I think the sooner Gooch gets back, the better. And I've got my own criticism of Gooch. I've said it on this panel.
That's how bad it is, though, Michael. Actually wanting Gooch back.
But at least Gooch offers a bit of pace as well, and he tries to get in behind.
He tries to
do too much. But I'll tell you what, you never accuse Gooch of not trying.
It's like never accuse Gooch of shirking it. Gooch other side, direct football, isn't it?
But look what happened. I mean, I know Gooch came off it against Tranmere, but you look at that Tranmere game, and I know that 5-0, looks like a one-off now, doesn't it? But nevertheless, when we played them, we've gone over the McGeady whether we should play argument. But again, if you had Gooch and Watmore, it's a bit of dynamicism, if that's even a word. Them going forward, a bit of pace, bit of athleticism, and it encourages other people to take responsibility. And it's something that I bang on about every single week. It's player responsibility. there was a number of times yesterday where a number of players looked like they were scared to go and do anything.
Why don't we play Watmore on the left and put when Gooch is back and play Gooch on the right? Try that, you know what I mean?
Or they might end up interchanging.
So is dynamicism a word? Any bookworms out there?
There you go.
I've never heard of it before.
If it is cleverer than me. If it is, I want to make that copyrighted so everyone has to pay me every time they say it.
It is a word now. Right, so go on to Benji. When Benji came on, like I said, he scored it was a great finish with his left foot.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he just knew where the goal was and he was over the moon. Well done, Benji. First ever league goal, I think, for Sunderland Football Club.
It would have been.
I actually, we were outside, me and Duno, and obviously the crowd was thinking he's running in, and I was like, oh, we equalised, and they went, we equalised. I'm like, Jesus, and I went, who scored? And Kim Muir. I was like, I mean, there you go, but I didn't see the goal like you see, but I was outside.
It was just like a lot of players falling over each other. I mean, the referee at some point could have easily blew for a foul on either side.
Maybe.
Especially if it could have given Coventry a foul because, you know, what referees like these days. A lot of players falling over each other, kicking the ball on the ground. Then, I forget who passed it. Who passed it to Benji? Who found Benji?
Oh, I can't. I think it might have been McGeady, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it was a lovely pass and just didn't take a touch, just bang, straight under the keeper.
When I looked at the highlights back, I was paying attention more to Kim York was positioning rather than who was...
Was it a bit fortunate in the goal? Because I'd I haven't seen
I've got it on my channel, on my vlog yesterday. I said watch it.
I'll have a look now.
I want to see the goats on my vlog.
Yeah, there's a clip right there. And if you want to watch someone spout rubbish for 3 minutes, watch mine.
But yeah, it was a well taken goal, wasn't it?
No, I think it was. I mean, how old's Kim York? He's not even 20 yet, is he? He's like 18, 19 years old. So, and either way, to show a bit of maturity and show the awareness to get into that space and actually anticipate the ball coming towards him was very, very well taken, actually. But again, it re-emphasises the point where I said what more should have been starting. When Kim York came up, Parkinson left it till about the 80th minute to bring him on, and I'm like, right, why wasn't he on 20 minutes earlier? When you know Grig's off, when you know Grigg is either so isolated or he's just either way he's not offering nothing, and you think, well, you bring Kim York on, well, bit of pace, we might actually do something with it. So no, but it was a well taken goal. I mean, I would say from Coventry's perspective, they probably could have defended our goal better.
Yeah.
I mean, and actually,
should have been cleared at one point.
Probably, yeah. So I mean, I'm going to try and be devil's advocate here as well. But even then, I mean, that was a result probably because Coventry, I thought, sat back quite a lot second half. I didn't think they.
I think watching it, do you think Coventry looked like the home team? Didn't they? We were like,
do you think Coventry watched us under Jack Ross and decided to intimidate her? Decided to impersonate her, rather.
I just think Coventry for the first 60 minutes were the better side, and then when Watmore came with his direct football, they had to sit back because he was running at them, so they were scared to that.
Which again re-emphasised the point of why he wasn't starting. Why was he not starting?
But there's two sides to every coin.
I think it must have been
also, when he came in 60 minutes or whatever it was, Coventry players could have been getting tired, so his injection of pace took them by surprise. Where if he starts a match,
possibly
it won't be so sort of noticeable.
Fair point, fair argument.
What's your thoughts on Benji? Do you think he should be starting every game now, or starting the next match against Burton?
No, I don't think so. I think he's more of going to be more of an impact player at the minute because he's only a young lad. But I mean, I didn't see his goal, but I'm glad. I'm like over the moon for the lad. He's getting a goal. He's only 19. That's only going to build his confidence. But no, I'll just use Kimby as an impact player. You know what I mean? Just for now.
I think it's good. I think I agree with Sean. I think he should be an impact player, but I would expect him to be brought on sooner than the 80 minutes. So I'm talking like 65, 70 minutes.
I think he should have managed
to give him a bit more time to actually impact the game.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So who would you start up against Burton as a striker? Will Grigg again?
Well,
by default, possibly.
I mean, people are going a bit with Grigg and Michael's not his best friend, but if you're not getting the support, you're not getting the service, then the strikers always get the flack. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you've got to get the goals, and people say you've got to be in the right positions, but you need service. You need the ball to play to you. You know what I mean? And we haven't got that.
If you're going to play Grigg, I've said it before. Play someone up front with him. Play someone just off him. At least give him something more. As much as I think Grigg didn't try hard enough yesterday, I think he could have battled a lot harder than he did. I do think Sean is right though. Grigg, we don't help him whatsoever. If we're going to persist with Grigg, then why not play? So if McNulty's even half fit, it might be a risk. But you know what? If McNulty's half fit, I'll play him up front with Grigg on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
I would.
When you see Grigg in the box, he's always on the penalty spot. Yesterday, Kimby Yorker found space away from the penalty spot. Now, is that because Coventry players didn't know about Kimby Yorker, so they didn't mark him? They didn't
That's a good shout.
They didn't rate him. Because Will Grigg always seems to be well marked, but he doesn't find the space. He doesn't make different runs.
But it's like I said, the same thing when if McGeady's on the pitch. Like if Grigg's going to get marked constantly, then what? If Sunderland were intelligent here, what they should have done was realise, right, Grigg, you're going to have players on you straight away. What does that instantly do? That creates space, other channels and pockets of space for other players to run into.
That's a really good point.
So
this year.
So why on earth can we not? Why don't we use that to our advantage and try to create chance for other people?
That's a great point. I was going to say that. I mean, if Grig's getting marked out the games, right, then that's going to create space for other players, but they're not stepping in.
Or at the very least, it's going to have other people think, oh crap, we've got him to think about it now as well.
Exactly.
So use it intelligently. It's intelligent gameplay.
Right, our number 10, Mark McNulty. He seems to be injured quite a lot. In January, do we let him go back to his club? Or is there a contract saying he's got to stay to the end of the season? Or I just wish he was fit.
And I thought if I was, you've got to be ruthless. Like McNulty, I liked him when he first came and something. He started well, but he, like you said there, he's injury all the time, and you cannot be dealing with that. I mean, when he plays, he's going to be fit. So if there's an option with loan deal, send him back and get somebody else in who can be fit, that'd be good. Like, be better. I mean, get somebody who's going to play games. He just seems to be injured all the time.
I think Sean's said most of it. You have said most of it. I think that if he's not going to be fit and going to be playing almost regularly, then there's no point in him being at the club. And especially exactly the wages thing again. We could probably use that wages to get someone who's going to, and it's a shame because I like McNulty. I think McNulty's the best striker we've got at the moment. And I think if he could get himself fit and play, even under Jack Ross, I thought his performances were quite good in general. Obviously had his off games, where everybody does, although for us quite a lot by the looks of it. But McNulty, I've been really impressed with since he's come in, but it's a shame. But you're right. If he's injured, there's no point in him being here.
We'll go on to automatic promotion. But
I was going to say, it says we're now 10th. You said McNulty's on number 10.
Did you see automatic promotion?
Because
I know.
When you look at the table now, you're either going to just laugh or you're going to cry because we've never been 10th in League One. Have we ever been this low at this point? We've never been this low. It's the lowest position we've ever been in our history. It's the worst position in our history, Is automatic promotion, Michael, now out of our grasp? Have we got a chance, any chance at all to get automatic promotion? Or do we have any chance for the playoffs?
Of course, I've got a chance to win the league.
I'd snap your hand off me for the playoffs.
The up by Easter phrase is going to be quoted a lot now, isn't it? Either way, before I'm trying to be serious here.
I haven't said that.
Lies. before the game yesterday, you got to laugh, otherwise you're just going to sob your heart out. Before the game yesterday, I looked at the table and I thought, right, because I looked at who everybody had. I thought Ipswich have got Blackpool. That's a tough game. Blackpool went there and got a point. At the same time, we had a tough game. I didn't expect us to beat Coventry. We should be winning games like that at home if we want to have any chance of promotion. But nevertheless, I think with 8 points. Don't get us wrong. Mathematically, 8 points with over half of the season to go isn't impossible to turn around. But can you see Ipswich dropping many points? At this point, can you see Wycombe dropping any points? Tuesday night, Ipswich and Wycombe play each other, but that requires us to beat Burton. And then either way, if Ipswich are going to win, the gap is still going to at best be the same. Or if Wycombe win, then we could possibly decrease to 5 points. But I can't see Wycombe going to Ipswich and getting a win. So at the minute, look, mathematically, for us to get top two at this point, one of the other teams is going to have to cock up massively, and we're going to have get the right players in January, and everything's going to have to go in our favour to have a chance at it.
First of all, we need to start actually approaching games and trying to win games. You know what I mean? Because we're going to get in the automatics. We're going to have to try and get on the run.
You've got to.
Do you know what I mean? And
we're not going to be able to grind out 1-0.
Consistency is something what's not even in our
DNA at the minute.
Do you know what I mean? It's like we didn't even look like an half decent side at the minute, do we?
I think for us to get in the top two, we need about 8 teams to not play very well.
God, honestly, it's just,
even then.
I would take your hands off now for the playoffs.
You know what it is?
Take your hands off.
But don't worry, it's all right. 10th in League One, happy days, mid-table stability.
At least you've got a chance then.
So yesterday, who was man of the match for you, Michael? Was there anybody stood out?
The ball boy.
Is this basically the not who's man who was the least rubbish out of everybody? I'm just going to go Kibioga because he scored. It's got to either be him or Watmore, because actually I'll tell you what, no, I'm going to go with Watmore because at least he was getting us a bit further forward and he was doing things. I mean, bench Kibioga was only on for 10 minutes. I don't think there was. I mean, obviously he scored the goal, but in terms of general play, I would say Watmore. But it's either one of them two.
What are your thoughts on Burge? Before I move on. Solid? Did
okay. Obviously that was that one moment when Maguire passed to him that Burge could have came out towards the Coventry player, but then stopped for some reason. So, but to be fair, Maguire did leave him very, very short there. So, Burge was okay. I mean, the Coventry fans were booing him pretty much every time he touched the ball.
Him and Willis, weren't they?
You know, I mean, as to be fair, Burge has done better. In general, Burge has done better for us than I was expecting, given what they were saying. So
I think McLaughlin could be really, couldn't he? I think by the right there.
So if that's the case, we need a new right back, don't we?
Are you trying to get us on the Conor McLaughlin right again?
If Conor McLaughlin's not playing yesterday, either he's injured or he's not fitting into the Phil
He was
Patterson
suspended.
setup.
That's why he didn't play. So he'll probably come back into the starting lineup on Tuesday.
09 might go further forward.
Possibly, yeah.
Man of the match, Sean?
Nobody, mate.
No? Thought about with Hume. Did Hume play well? How did your thoughts on Hume?
Sorry, but it's just like you say this to me. You got to be going forward, but again, it's when he's defending, he's always.
Like I said, he gets no one covering him, does he? Yeah. I think when Hume's your best player, when Hume's one of your better players, he has been for the last couple of weeks, that says a lot about the rest of the team.
That's kind of picking man of the match. I mean, Mike could say, but what more are you coming and doing well? But am I going to pick one?
Okay, man of the match.
Useless, gutless, effortless. There should be some of them players. They should be ashamed of themselves. You know what I mean? They need to look themselves in the mirror and see it. Are them doing a job? Professional footballers supposed to be able to do a job. Give 100%. They're not giving 100%. They're just getting on that pitch and just strolling around. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, I mean, if I was a Sunderland fan, all I say, if you was playing for Sunderland, you would, of course, you know what I mean? You'd run through big walls, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. They want to be ashamed of themselves. Shamed.
While Sean's ranting, if someone from the club would like to watch this video and edit and take out that clip of Sean's passionate speech and show it to the players,
I tell you, if I was the manager of that football team, I would have grabbed Max Power and I'd have given him a slap at the end of the game.
This would be fun.
No violence, Sean, please. No violence.
Brian Clough.
Right, my man of the match. I want to give a shout out. I want to say Willis is playing with injury and he shouldn't have been playing, so you can't really judge Willis at all on yesterday's match. Lynch, if he's getting injections, he's playing with an injury. Dobson's probably playing with an injury. For me, man of the match, I want to give Watmore 8 out of 10. But I want to give Benji man of the match for finding space and doing what Will Grigg hasn't been able to do for the rest of the match and score the goal. I'm not like slagging off Will Grigg. Like I said before, he doesn't get the right service. But he needs to do more when he's on the pitch. He needs to find a way to score goals, simple as. And even that time when he was one-on-one with the keeper, he messed it up as well, so things aren't going well for him. Well,
I was going to say, I think probably another shout out for man of the match when I know they haven't gone up on YouTube, but when Sean and Dean were trying to do the man of the match, the fan interviews yesterday after the game, Sean was interviewing one of my friends, actually CJ, so I'll give him a shout out, and he was really going for it, but how he didn't swear I do not know. So Sean's my man of the match for not swearing during either of those.
Before Sean has an apology to make, I just want to say sorry to Wigan Wanderers, because I'm going to say you're going to win the league now. You've won the league, there you go. Wigan Wanderers have won the league.
I just want to apologise to all our lovely loyal subscribers. Yesterday when I was doing the interviews, unfortunately the sound had a technical issue with the sound, so the sound isn't great, but we'll have that sorted for the next game, and my apologies about that. I honestly, happens, but thanks.
Right, we're going to move on to Phil Parkinson. Should he stay or should he go? Personally, for me, it's far too soon.
You're going to do a song, aren't you?
I want to, but I'm holding. It was me. I asked him to sing that. I don't want to break this lovely little device here. But Phil Parkinson is 10 games in charge. He's only won 2 games. Is he to blame for the system, or is the players to blame? For me, no blame's going on Phil Parkinson just yet, because he's been brought in, even if he's not good enough for the club, even if he's not good enough as a manager, he's been brought in to do a job. Now the players have got to perform, like they were kind of doing last season. So what's happened? So Phil Parkinson. So Michael, what's your thoughts on Phil Parkinson at this moment in time?
I think with the argument with Phil Parkinson, like I said, it was common knowledge. He wasn't my first choice when he was appointed, but I did think, right, he's got out of this league before. He's got out of, I think, at least once or twice out of League One.
Well, twice and
twice,
three
like
with their league.
So either way, and so he should, in theory, know what to do. I mean, there was a couple of talks apparently that went on at the back end of last week. I think it was a Charlie Meth from Phil Parkinson and Gavin Moore, whatever the name is. Whoever it was. So apologies, I've butchered your name there, but they were talking about what they needed in January, and the height was pace. Now, the reason I bring that up is because I think Phil Parkinson, I'd like to think, will know what we need to get out of this league. I'm trying to think really optimistically here. I'm trying to really clutch at straws here. I think that he probably might know what we need, which a bit of it is pace and height, of which we have not much in abundance. In terms of his record, I mean, it says on there like two wins in 10 games. Call me crazy, I'm trying to take the cups out of the thinking here. I'm trying to look at it and think, right, what matters the most is the league games. Now, obviously, I can't completely ignore the cup games because a lot of the performances were unacceptable. But in large part, that's also on the players. So to answer your question, I think there's a mixture. But I think Parkinson is to blame for certain tactical decisions. Some of them, I think that he could have been a bit more ruthless in terms of dropping players when not playing well. But at the same time, he's had quite a few players out injured. I think for me, the main bulk of the blame has to go towards the players.
Yeah, go on. They've got the players have got a lot of themselves. I mean, Jack Ross got the sack. You know what I mean? Well, most of us wanted him sacked. With bringing Parkinson in, and as things changed, I mean, looking at it now, I mean, he wasn't. I mean, we all discussed the choices of the people who were, wanted, and he wasn't really on the. He wasn't even on the list, was he?
He was the cheapest and easiest choice for me.
That's what a lot of people said that. I mean, but you've got to give the bloke a chance. But it doesn't look good like at all, does it? It just doesn't look.
I mean, at the minute, I'm tempted to. I still want to see what he could do in the January window and bringing his own players in.
Exactly.
Would you be even against maybe last for the dice? Maybe try and bring another manager in, or would you just give him to the end of the season?
The thing is,
it would have to go really, really bad. I know it's going really bad at the minute, but I mean, like, we'd have to show that we're really regressing badly to get another manager in.
Imagine like SAFC Fan TV, the players that we have, and someone comes in to manage us, and they're the only players he's got. And you got like Dean, who's a good defender, scores some goals. You got Sean, who's a good player who scored good goals, and you got donkeys like me, right? and you can only play the donkeys like me up until January. So his hands are tied. So until he can bring in some pace into the side, a good striker, a creative midfielder, we won't know what he's capable of doing. Now, for me, he's got to be there to the end of the season. You have to give the bloke a chance. Really.
Here's one to throw a question in. Say what looks quite likely. Say we don't get promoted. Would you just keep Parkinson for next season then?
He signed a 2.5-year deal, so I'm assuming that. Obviously, Stuart Donald.
I'm assuming we're going to stick.
He's going for at least this season and next.
Probably.
See what happens next season.
No, I just mean, what would you two think? If say someone don't get promoted, which is looking quite likely, what would you say on Parkinson?
It depends how the January window goes. If he can get some good players in, or if he brings nobody in, or if he doesn't give the kids a chance, and end of the season we're only 10th. Then for me, it's probably not good enough.
I think there's another thing for me: the recruitment side of the club.
They've got to take
who's picking the players. Well. Do you know what I mean? Who's picking the players?
This is the thing that annoys me.
Who's scouting these players?
I've said it a lot that. Why do we not? Why did the recruitment team not look at what typically teams that have gone up from the league do? Pace, height, physicality. Right. Don't get them. Why?
Somebody said
that's what
before,
they're there for.
I don't know if you think of this, but obviously he was at the one at Eastleigh. That's a non-league team, right? He's come to Sunderland. He's brought a lot of friends with him. Do you think maybe he's just a little step too far for him? A massive club like us, and he's brought his mates, and they're not getting things right because they're used to dealing with.
Do you think are they overwhelmed by the size of
the club?
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
In these dark times, like Stuart Donald should sort of try to make the fans a bit happier and maybe reduce the prices of food and drink in the ground. It's ridiculous putting prices up.
I thought you were going to go on with your hot chocolate.
Up by 20 pence. I've been told up by 20 pence.
Hot chocolate deal like robbery.
Bring the prices down. Look after your fans. Even the team's shite and the games are shite. Look after your fans. Reduce the prices of food and drink.
Because I tell you something,
that's why I don't buy anything in the ground.
About the
ridiculous pricing.
The fans are starting to turn, and I'm just a little bit worried now. If we're going to start winning games, the fans are going to turn away and they're going to come.
And we mean win quite consistently as well. Yeah. And I think the thing for me, with Parkinson, just trying to get on to the point. I think with Parkinson, I'm going to working on the assumption we don't go up. If we were to sign players in January that are what we need for this league, and say it was a bit too late this season, but I could see that there was progress for next season, then I would think, right, there's something there to look forward to.
Build on.
So if we sign the right type of players, attributes for this league, I think left it a bit late this season, but. And it's a big but. We would have to keep majority of the players for next season and then go on a roll and go for it. So I would give them but it's...
Right,
at the minute, stay.
We're going to move on to the Burton match on Tuesday night. We're going to go on to score predictions, but I think if Charlie Wyke's fit, he will definitely start because that's the kind of player that Phil Patterson does like.
Yeah.
But predictions against Burton, Michael, what's your thoughts on the Burton match?
You had to come to me first.
We've got to win.
Fine, I'm going to be optimistic. I think we'll win 2-1. I'd like to. I'm going to pray that the late equaliser gives us something to bounce off. But if we don't bounce off that on Tuesday, then we shouldn't be playing football.
I was going to say 2-1 as well. I mean,
That's what I hope.
Burton's a decent side. I mean,
yeah, they were all right. We haven't beaten them at home since we started playing them. Actually, hint, lads.
It's a tough game, but we need to start winning football matches, because if we didn't start winning football matches,
we're all going to go clinically insane.
God, honestly,
I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory. Think positive. Definitely go for a 3-1 home victory. And
please prove us right, lads.
I don't know what score Wee Philly thinks, but I know there's a bloke over there who likes Wee Philly. Has he told you the score prediction? What was the score prediction he liked?
He said scrap predictions. He said up by Easter.
Oh yeah, Wee Philly said 2-0.
Yeah.
Right, so the Burton match. Would you not think about starting Charlie White?
It gives you that option, I suppose. I mean, with the crosses and that, he's hype. But I was talking to Dino, and he went, "Well, is he actually good in the air?" Do you know what I mean? But
he doesn't win enough aerial battles.
He doesn't win across the channels very well. But like we're going about,
maybe play him up. If you play him up top with Greg, we've got now to lose. So
you mean 4-4-2?
Could maybe win the flick ons for Greg. I mean, I said this last season, and it didn't really come into it. So short hands up couldn't hurt him.
You've got to get crosses in.
Might as well.
If you play White, you've got to get.
If we're going to put crosses in, we might as well play White.
Then on Saturday, the 7th of December, we're playing away at Gillingham. Now we've already played away at Gillingham, and we sort of played their game of just Hooford football, and we didn't play any passing or any football at all in the Gillingham match. Can we actually turn this round in the league and beat Gillingham, Michael?
I hope so, but I'm an absolute muppet because I'm going. And Sean is as well. Oh God!
I'll be driving down.
Oh God! Gillingham. Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to be deluded. I'll say 2-1 again. I'm saying these out of hope and expectation, but it wouldn't shock me if we didn't win either of these.
You know what? 1-1.
1-1?
That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Go on, man. What's yours?
I'm going to go for 1-0 away victory.
Chris.
So what about Wee Philly? What's he going for?
No.
3-1
where's he anyway?
3-1 to Sunderland.
3-1 to
Sunderland.
Great. But by the way, if we haven't won away in all competitions, but I think certainly in the league since Accrington in September.
That's unbelievable. I'm
sorry, if we don't go to Gillingham and win, then we're not going to get a better chance to. With all due respect, obviously, they'll probably beat Wales.
We're winning apart from the Sheffield United in the cup. That's our last away
in the league. Yeah.
Right, here's another stat. Coventry City haven't won away in the league all season.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
Coventry haven't won away in the league all season.
And we deal like Robbie yesterday and get the last minute goal.
Do you know something? Like, just very quickly before we wrap it up, I remember just looking at someone put a stat on Facebook earlier in the week, and someone like Coventry haven't won away in the league. Like, why are you putting that? Why are you putting the Coventry haven't won away? Because you know what's going to happen, and it very nearly did. Very nearly did.
So I want to say a big thank you to Michael and Sean. Thanks for coming on to the show.
Sean should have left him hanging.
And next time,
Get back to that.
You never do that. Next time it'll be the 8th of December. That's next time we're going to be live on the Sunday bunch anyway. Thanks for watching the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please give it a like. And much appreciated for watching.
If anybody's suffering from mental issues as well, it's always good to talk. I'm just going to put that in.
Yeah, very good. Good thing to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.